we could look at some of these other bands or whatever you want to call them on the radio right now and question why they're still on the Christian networks for being part of like false churches. I mean, let's look at Hillsong. Hillsong is a false church that teaches a prosperity gospel. They teach a word of faith gospel. They have many false teachings, but Hillsong is played all day long on, K-Love or Family Life Radio or name another Christian station. They're always on the radio. Let's look at Bethel, another false church. They have the Bethel School of the Supernatural where they practice grave soaping. Go look it up. It's a completely demonic and satanic thing, this grave soaking and soaking, and the whole school of the supernatural is not biblical. And not to mention, Bill Johnson does not teach a biblical message. Let's look at Elevation Worship out of Elevation Church, which is Stephen Furtick's church, who is nothing more than a motivational speaker and a prosperity speaker or teacher. I use the word pastor loosely and with people like this because they're not biblical pastors. They're just people who talk, but they're not biblical pastors. They don't meet the definition or the biblical standard of a pastor. But let's look at Stephen Furtick. He's nothing more, again, than this motivational speaker. And he said, and I saw the interview, he was with Joel Osteen, and he said that he wanted his desire when he decided, not when he was called, when he decided that he wanted to start a church, he wanted it to be as big as Joel Osteen. And if Joel Osteen is your model as a pastor, you have fallen, you have failed, you've gone completely away from what a biblical pastor is and the teaching of the Bible. Not to mention, there was one time that Stephen Furtick said, "I am God," and yelled it in front of his entire congregation. It's not biblical. But these things are allowed on the radio. We just continue playing music from these false churches, and that's okay. But one person who was removed from a band, the situation has been dealt with. Why are the Newsboys being punished for something that somebody who's no longer on the team did? That'd be like me saying, yeah, I'm going to go back to, what was it, the late 90s or the mid 90s when the Newsboys first came out. I'm going to take all of that music that I might have had or any of their CDs or records, and I'm going to throw it all away. Michael Tait wasn't even a part of that group, and we're going to get rid of all of that because of what that man did. Now, I would agree with, don't play the Newsboys with Michael Tait. That's probably not a good idea.